Hey, Grace. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for sending me the email. And I would like to take your time and just walk you through our progress on the ESG data platform. So if you don't mind, I'll just share my screen and walk you through the updates. We are directly at the homepage, so we can now see that we have applied the design from the mood board to the wireframe, and you can start looking at what should be closer to what will be the final product. A couple of things that you will see out of the gate is on this left-hand side, we have our menu, and a lot of this will be later polished and the labels will be shown underneath each of the sections. But right now we are still figuring this part out. During our last discussion where I was in New York, we've discussed the feedback button. We had thought about adding it to the navigation itself, leaving feedback and creating a ticket on the service now. We could also think of having something that will be floating and on the right bottom hand side of the experience. Please tell us, what do you think should be the correct version? A couple of things that you will see right at the gate is this welcome section with quick links, our section where we will able to search for companies or portfolios and start the ESG and social screening and search for the data, the recent searches that we had done, the different spaces that the platform will have, the latest updates, the ESG data and ratings, and the contacts. I just wanted to walk you through quickly what is the documentation part. You remember we've been discussing the information architecture and we thought that a documentation section will be very necessary. We have categories, so we are able to filter this section by category, by date, by who had added, and where is the source coming from. And we'll pull different documents, proxy voting, guidelines. Obviously, I would love to get more of information here, but right now we are working with the information that we took from the screenshots. One other thing, currently in the platform, you're then opening directly a document. From our perspective, it will be great to keep the users in the experience, so they are able just to use a PDF viewer and view a lot of that information in the platform itself. So that is just a very quick explanation of how we think about documentation resources. And I will go back to the home page real quick and focus on how we are thinking about ESG and social screening and the visualization on a issuer level. So let me just click this, and you will see that let's imagine that you've typed the ESG rating and had chosen from the drop-down the social screening guidelines like tobacco, alcohol, gambling, and weapons, and you're able to remove them all or append or add a different guideline if you like. But the first thing that you will see is that the rating and the guidelines are right now positioned in this comfortable screen that brings the highlights of both information. So on the ESG rating side, we'll understand the metric. On hover, we'll understand what it's all about. So ESG score, blah, blah, blah. What is the current rating and what was it change? That is one thing that had come up with the discussion that we had with CJ last time. As also, we are introducing a new thing, a bucketing that came also from discussion and feedback, where the user can quickly understand if that score is good or bad, if it goes in that upper quartile or in that lower quartile. Again, we're just seeing different data points. So for the governance, for the score and IB rating, and we also can show the calculation and understand this pop-up will appear, the score change, if you agree or don't agree with that, and move on. Additional breakdown of all of the information, environmental, corporate and governments, and social. I think that there's enough information to be seen here, and we'll be able to run a report from that place. So one other feedback item from last week was add the industry averages. So now we are directly comparing the issuer against the industry average by default, but then you can compare it against a different company, and that is what this add issuer part stands for. So if we would like to add another issuer, we'll click on this button here and choose from a list of issuers what the other issuer we would want to compare it against. And we can bring multiple, and what we will do is that this part of the screen will just stay as is, and we'll start building a table with multiple information in it here displayed as you see. So on this will change For the 2 issuers, we'll probably continue the way it's looking here, but for 3 and more, we'll remove this show calculation and we'll rather put it in a table-like view through which users will be able to scroll. But as you can see, the Alpha and Omega conductor and Delta Inc., they're all having their ESG ratings at the same level, and users can quickly understand the comparison between both. We can also imagine a table. I'll show you how this can be done on our next connect. So yeah, that is the update on that side here. There's one other part that I would like to show, which is the ESG rating. So let me just connect this real quick because I don't understand why it was not the part of the presentation, and walk you through it. So now the ESG space is available by clicking the button here. Some of the quick links about ESG space is provided before, but users can click on this and get to the ESG rating space. We'll start by providing to the user certain information, the guidelines, the resources, the committees, so things that they need to understand about ESG, and they are being provided in a nice way. Able to provide search for a company and do an easy ESG rating only search for information. And the second part, that is the analytical part that focuses either on the portfolio, either a certain subset of companies, and provides information. It would be great if you connect and understand like what would be the analytics that we could provide that would be meaningful to the users. We thought that from the NB rating and MSCI ratings, we would be able to pull all of the metrics and understand how's the portfolio looking like, and provide it in this nice visualization here. Secondly, for the additional information, because we are in the ESG rating space, we would want to show all of the related latest updates. And sorry for this information here, it should not be screening, it should be ESG, but we understand that only documents from the ESG would show up here, and same goes to the guidelines and resources. We would only show different information about the ESG. So that is all regarding the update. If you have any comments, please leave me a message or let's schedule another call. Thank you so much.